Hi there, welcome to Art. So I think we are all in need of a little vacation. I know I certainly am. So today we're going to put on our beach clothes and our sun hats, and we are going to make an imaginary trip to the Caribbean. First thing we're going to do is pick out our own vacation cottage, which if you stay tuned, I will help you design. And I will also give you a quick tour of the beautiful pastel houses of the Caribbean. Stay tuned and I'll show you how it's done. So to design your Caribbean cottage, you're going to need your sketchbook or a piece of watercolor paper, which I have here, a planning pencil, a Sharpie marker, a ruler might be helpful, and then you will need your new markers, watercolors, a paintbrush, and a cup of water. So to get started, I hope you were able to take a tour of the Caribbean houses. They were wonderfully colorful, always done most likely in pastels. So think of the cottage you would love to vacation in. I'm going to start with just a simple upside down V, a triangular shape. I'm going to make a double roof line. A small cottage by the seaside is what I'm going to make. So stay tuned. And I'll show you this in pastel. So I went over the lines of my sketch with a Sharpie marker, and make sure it's a Sharpie so it's waterproof. I thought this would be too thick, but I think I like how bold this makes it. So I've got my house, I've got some greenery around it, and where is it located? Well, I'm going to make at the end of my yard here using the hop over trick, and I think I am going to be near the beach. So I have the yard, the beach, and maybe the ocean in the background with the famous hop over trick. If you want, you can draw a little path leading up to your house. So to color this in, you have a couple of options. You can do it all in watercolor, or you can use watercolor and the new markers I gave you. The cool thing about the markers, especially if you use it on watercolor paper, is when you add water to them, they will spread. So for instance, if I do this palm tree just with an outline, and maybe add a little light green as well, and then add water, I can get a very cool effect. I think for mine, I might use some marker and some watercolors. So watch what happens. And remember, not too much water. Take the extra water off, and you can blend it. And it's really fun to play around with what these colors will do. You can see this one wasn't nearly as interesting without the darker outline. And you can do the same thing with your house. Now remember, when you go to paint your house, you want a Caribbean color. So please, no brown houses. How about hot pink, orange? You know what? I'm going to experiment with this orange to see how it works. Since I'm just experimenting, I'm going to do a little line down there and see what I think. Might be all right. So I'm going to do my house with orange. Then maybe I will use watercolor for the rest. Stay tuned, and you'll see me do it quickly. So when I started this picture, I thought I was going to mostly watercolor it in, but I had so much fun playing around with the markers on this watercolor paper and seeing how they would spread that I did a lot of it that way. And I hope you'll decide which medium you like the best. Do you like watercolors? Do you like your markers? Or maybe you'd even like colored pencils. So I'm going to spread a little more water around just so you can see how this works. It's great fun. Leave yourself a little white space and think of the colors that are next to each other on the color wheel so that when they blend, you're going to get a nice color. The brown blends out nicely. I will see what happens to this ocean. Not bad. If I don't love it, I can go back and add a little watercolor right on top. In fact, I might put a little green on top of that blue to give it an ocean color. Okay. What happens to your leaves here? Great. Remember to rinse your brush in between or you're going to have a big muddy mess. So we've gotten that pretty well done. I'm going to fix my door here. I didn't like it, so I added a little blue marker over the top, and I like it better. Now, what are we going to do for our sky? And you decide, are you going to have a sunset or a night sky? I'm going to go with a night sky, but what I am going to do first is get this all wet, but I'm leaving a halo, a little white space around my shapes, because if I don't, they will all get covered with my background color. So I am going to do a process called wet on wet. I'm getting my background wet, and then I'm going to add some very watery watercolor on top. And I'm mixing a little blue and a little purple because I want a night sky. I think I'm going to make it look like a starlight night along the beach in my little vacation cottage. It's going to be a wonderful vacation. Remember, stay back from your shapes so they don't disappear. It's kind of a nice effect to have that white halo around it. Tip of your brush when you're getting close to things like that. Spread it out. And I like to use a combination of colors. I think it makes it more interesting. I've got blue and purple here. If you're having a sunset, you might use reds and oranges and pinks. So to make it look even more like a starry night, I am going to, while this is still wet, take a little bit of salt and sprinkle it on so those will look like the little stars shining in the night. And the way you do it is just a little bit from up high, and then you wait. It doesn't happen right away, and sometimes kids end up going back and adding way too much salt. So we just have to put it on, wait a minute, and we'll come back later and see how it came out. So have fun designing your Caribbean cottage. Where are you going to put it? What color is it going to be? Is it going to be big or small? And when you're all done, don't forget to post a picture of your work. I can't wait to see it.